And welcome back, everyone. We just had our first death battle since them come back. And it was a pretty good death battle. That was a damn good death battle. And now we have the next one, which is Joker from the Persona 5 series versus Giorno Giovanni from JoJo. Now, I've done Giovanni before. I have done that one at least once when I've done Who Would Win. I think I've talked about Joker before, but these are two series where my knowledge is very sparse at best, so I had to look it up a little bit to see who I think would win. By the by, obviously 99% of you can read a title, but for that 1% of you who can't read the title, this is a prediction video. So if you saw the Krona versus not Krona, Ruby versus, was it Makia from Soul Reader video, and you saw that one idiot who was calling about, you're doing like clickbait thumbnails and stuff like that. Let's say a lot of you smart people did jump down his throat a bit, like, dude, stop being an idiot. You're being an idiot. Stop it. You're really being a child. And sure enough, when I gave him the warning, yeah, cut the crap or I will ban you from the comments, he just decided, oh no, whatever will I do? He did that. By the by, I couldn't exactly find who did this image. I think it's Internet02. That was the name of the person I could find. But yeah, but in terms of straight versatility, both these characters actually have quite some versatility to them. Giovanni has a stand that allows him to manipulate life energy. And in theory, this fight could end with him killing or putting him in near-death state, but preventing him from seeing the truth of the afterlife, which is an ability this stand has, and they're putting him in an endless death loop. But Persona Joker, I think he is literally being the Joker means he's a trickster and has a wild card. He's designated as a wild card, which means he can bring up multiple personas of multiple different levels of power. And I looked up how many personas he has. He has an ass ton with a lot of varying abilities. If we're going by sheer amount and sheer versatility, Joker should theoretically take it. But the Giorno his stance still being able to manipulate life on many levels is still insanely broken to the point where, in theory, it can prevent him from dying in the death battle. So that begs the question, who wins? First off, are these personas capable of hurting the stand? Because as we know, only other stands can, at least in their world, mind you, only other stands can hurt other stands. But personas, in essence, kind of act like stands. They're psychic. They're technically psychic. Well, I don't know if they're psychic beings, but they're definitely in the same boat as a stand. So it should beg to reason that they should be able to, at minimum, see each other's personas, if you will, their stand persona, if you will, and interact with them in the same way they could interact with the other ones. I would think, but I know I'm going to get a JoJo fan in the comments saying, no, that's not how stands work. I'm like, I know that's not how they work in their world. In their world, the stand interacts only with a stand. But the question is, once you take something from a different world with different rules and like logic to it, does that break that logic? That's the question we have to ask. I'm going to guess for this, the way that, this is where it's really going to come down to. That's what it's going to come down to me. Because all the stands have, all of his personas have different abilities, including absorbing powers, negating powers, all that kind of stuff. If the personas can interact with his stand like other stands can, then I would say, yeah, it goes to Joker. But if the persona can't interact with the stand and can just take the brunt of all the damage and just, whatever, I think it would be a drawn out fight. I mean, it's not drawn out for death battle, but you know what I mean, drawn out. And I would imagine that, yeah, eventually the stand would win. That's assuming, by the way, that Joker himself doesn't get involved in the fight, because he's described as an expert tactician, marksman, swordsman, hand-to-hand fighter. So if, say, Giorno's stand is being occupied by all these persona, and then he goes in to try to kill Giorno, that could be a killing move for Joker. I think, and remember, if you've watched the most recent Deathbattle, you know that the way they balanced it out, they did the same thing they did with the Doctor Who Rick fight and the Goku and Superman fight, where they actually did the whole strength, speed. Or they actually broke it down, which I really liked. I actually really liked that because it's such a good way to just break it down and make it have the audience understand. So yeah, right now I'm gonna go with Joker. I say this as someone who doesn't really follow either series, so don't at me. But yeah, I would say I probably would go with Joker in this fight. Now, I could be dead wrong, and I'm okay with being dead wrong. I've been dead wrong before. I was not going to say who I had winning in this most recent fight if you haven't watched that video. But needless to say, I did not get that fight right, which I should have, by the way. I should have gone with my gut, but I didn't. All right, but that's my thoughts. Who do you got in this fight for those of you who actually know these characters better than I do? Let me know and why. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. See you next time.